Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to was performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach, and the El Dorado restaurant and beach club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. Speaking of beach clubs, this week we are going to the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. We're going to spend some time at a beach club. We're going to be meeting the manager of Mango's Beach Club, Francisco Zuazua Puga. His friends call him Paco. I think it might be a little easier. Senor Puga will be telling us all about this cool club on the beach, and we'll be visiting our dear friend Maria Santander up in El Tuito over at Galeria Coppelia. She's going to talk to us about a massive collection of artwork that she's got over at her gallery, and it's for sale. It was all painted and created by her brother Morgan, who passed away from cancer about a year and a half ago. And it's an entire wing of the gallery. It's dedicated just to his art, which is for sale, and she calls it Museo Morgan. We have Vallarta news. We have even more, so let's get started. Let's see what's happening in Puerto Vallarta this week, the 12th of April, 2022. Nearly 7 months since the Insurgentes Bridge in Puerto Vallarta was destroyed by the huge amount of water that was dumped by Hurricane Nora, which flowed from the mountains above Puerto Vallarta down the Rio Quale on the 28th of August, 2021, last year, and destroyed that bridge. The new bridge was finally completed this weekend, and let me read here from Vallarta Opina. Governor inaugurates this Friday the new bridge over the Rio Quale. The government and the state of Jalisco confirmed the inauguration of the new bridge over the Quale River, built with 100% state resources for an amount close to 60 million pesos. It will be the governor of the state of Jalisco, Enrique Alfaro Ramirez, who will be in Puerto Vallarta this Friday, where at 10 o'clock in the morning, he will lead the official opening of the new vehicular bridge. The bridge was demolished by the strong flood caused by the effects of Hurricane Nora during the night of August 28th and the early morning of August 29th, 2021. Thus, this Friday, a new story will begin with the opening of the new vehicular bridge after the structure demolished by the rising Quale was about to celebrate its 62nd anniversary. The old bridge was inaugurated in October 3rd, 1959. It was built in 100 days in a work where people of Vallarta actively participated under the direction of engineer Marcel Resendez Galvan. This Friday, in addition to inaugurating the new bridge over the Quale River, the governor of Jalisco will have two more activities in Puerto Vallarta. At 10:40 in the morning, Alfaro will lead the start of the rehabilitation work at the 20th de Noviembre Primary School and the announcement of the work at the 21st de Marzo Primary School. Parents, teachers, and students will be at the event. At 11:20 in the morning, the governor will lead the inauguration of the rehabilitation of the Adolfo Lopez Mateos Primary School in the municipal seat, an event where there will also be teachers, parents, and students. And I have a link to that article from Vallarta Pina in the show notes. You can find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com in the Mangoes episode. So great job. It's so wonderful to have the bridge finally open again. I especially like the tunnel that goes underneath the street. It crosses under the bridge to the other side of the island. It makes it so much easier to navigate if you want to explore the entire island without having to cross traffic, without having to cross the bridge. And, it makes you wonder who's going to be painting the mural maybe inside that tunnel. We'll have to see. There's lots of blank walls there. There's artists, I'm sure, chomping at the bit. I have some pictures of the construction process in the show notes. And when I get there in a couple of weeks, I will take a video and I'll post it, of course, over on the Facebook page and probably in the show notes. So look for that. Oh, you'll hear about it pretty soon. I'll also have pictures of Governor Alfaro christening the bridge this coming Friday. What's that old saying? The good Lord willin' and the creek don't rise. Anyway, I wonder if Alfaro intends to smash a bottle of tequila on the rails, or I don't know if he's going to be forced to tone it down and just cut a ribbon. Who knows? Anyway, stay tuned. We'll find out. Last Sunday in Puerto Vallarta and all around Mexico, there was a special election day. It was a very unusual election, and let me read from NPR Online. Here's why Mexico's president is launching a vote to recall himself. This is dated April 9th, 2022. Dateline Mexico City. Mexico is holding a first-of-its-kind presidential recall referendum this Sunday. Voters are being asked to decide whether President Andrés Manuel López Obrador should finish out his 6-year term or be removed from office. While recalls are common political tool all over the world, normally it's the opposition of the unpopular leader who call for a recall, but Sunday's vote was the president's idea. The poll suggests that he's expected to win. While campaigning ahead of his landslide victory in 2018, López Obrador pledged to let voters decide at his term's halfway mark whether he should stay. Opponents say Sunday's vote is pure political theater, an expensive farce. They called for a boycott. But here's what to know ahead of the referendum. What exactly is being asked? Well, voters will face a two-part question on the ballot. Do you agree that the mandate of Andrés Manuel López Obrador, President of the United States of Mexico, should be revoked due to a loss of confidence, or that he should continue as the President of the Republic until the end of his term? Voters will have a choice of two boxes to check. One reads his mandate should be revoked due to the loss of confidence. The other, he should remain in the presidency of the Republic. There's no other issue on Sunday's ballot. Despite the president's popularity and strong base of support, turnout is expected to be low. For the results to be binding, 40% of registered voters must participate. López Obrador has stated that he will abide by whatever decision voters choose, regardless of the turnout. Why is López Obrador targeting his own presidency this way? López Obrador says the recall referendum is a powerful tool, bolstering direct democracy. His supporters agree and say while they will vote for this president to stay in office, they hope that recalls can be used to throw out future bad leaders. In his most recent State of the Union address last December, López Obrador told an enthusiastic audience that political leaders should be subjected to recalls, ensuring accountability. That way, it's not like I'm elected for 6 years and just can do whatever I want. No, the people must always keep the power in their hands, and any politician who doesn't obey, then revoke their mandate and throw them out, he said, to a thunderous applause. Why are his critics calling for a boycott of the vote? Well, opponents of López Obrador say that he's using this recall to shore up support for himself after a string of political scandals. Rising prices, his inability to control Mexico's staggering violence are chipping away at his popularity. In calling for a boycott of Sunday's vote, they're hoping to deal the president a political loss by denying him the 40% turnout needed to validate the contest. Many object to the cost of the referendum, too. Known for his fiscal austerity, the president allocated the equivalent of 77 million pesos for it, but the election official says that less than half of the amount needed to effectively hold the referendum, and they worry that they will be blamed if there is a low turnout. López Obrador has been very critical of the works of National Electoral Institute, the anonymous agency responsible for holding national votes. He says it's corrupt and anti-democratic and should be put under the control of the executive branch. He has even suggested that its directors be subjected to popular elections. Many say López Obrador has never forgiven this agency for validating elections in 2006 that he lost by a very small margin. The agency director at the time, Luis Ugrade, now with the Integralia Consultores political consulting firm, says López Obrador's threats against the Electoral Institute's independence are dangerous, as is his constant criticism of the non-governmental groups, including independent media and universities. Our very young democracy, with a lot of deficiencies, is going to collapse, he says. That's what is at stake at the moment in Mexico. What's the likely impact of the referendum? Well, Mexico's constitution states that the president can hold office for only one 6-year term with no option of re-election. Now that the president is into his second half of his term, analysts say he fears being treated as a lame duck and wants to be influential in critical midterm elections next year and the all-important presidential race in 2024. Carlos Bravo, a political analyst at the Mexico City Public Research Center, CIDE, says the referendum will give López Obrador a chance to show off his strong base. This is a way for him to say, I am still strong and people still support me, Bravo says. It also gives the president the opportunity to see which of his potential political candidate picks can best rally voters. On Wednesday, one of the rising stars in the president's Morena party, Mexico City Mayor Claudio Sheinbaum, rallied thousands of supporters to get out the vote in favor of López Obrador. Many say that she is López Obrador's most likely choice to be his successor in 2024. So very interesting. Well, and López Obrador, of course, he's the former mayor of Mexico City. So yes, that makes sense that she would be his choice to take over. Anyway, what I heard was that voting was pretty light along the bay this Sunday. I don't know if they got 40% vote or not, but I have a link to that NPR article. They're in the show notes. You can find them you know where. I don't know if you remember or not, but about 2 years ago, the former governor of Jalisco was shot dead at a nightclub in town. It looks like the police have made an arrest, another arrest other than the poor employees that were told to clean up the mess just before the authorities arrived on the scene. They arrested the partner of the nightclub, District 5. Remember, this was back in December of 2020 when Jorge Aristotle Sandoval Diaz was assassinated, basically shot in the back as he was taking a leak. There have been 13 convictions for the crime and cover-up, but they finally got around to arresting the gentleman who was a part owner of District 5. So I have a link to that article, which is difficult to read. It's in Spanish, and it translates really badly, so I did my best. It's in the show notes from Vallarta Pina Online. You can find them there. And since that incident, I know that the restaurant has been shut down. It was shuttered. I don't know if they're going to level it or not. I'm not quite sure. But in town, things are ramping up now for the Easter festivities. It's coming up this Sunday, right? You all got your Easter eggs? Did you get all your chocolates and everything? You ready to go? Anyway, in Vallarta and around the world, Easter Sunday is coming up. Even though over the years we have discussed Easter celebrations, I guess it's time. It's been about, a couple of years since we celebrated any holidays at all. So let's talk a little bit about what goes on here in Mexico as far as celebrating Easter. Let's turn to religions.com for this explanation. In Mexico, the Easter holiday consists of a 2-week-long celebration. The Catholics in this country consider Semana Santa, the Holy Week leading up to Easter, and Semana de Pascua, the week after Easter Sunday, important times for cultural and religious appreciation. Most schools and some businesses close during this time, and Mexican nationals flock to the beaches to enjoy time off with their families. An important note for travelers who are actually thinking about going to those areas. It's also time that's reserved for religious worship by way of processions, special church ceremonies, and rituals that include reenactments of Jesus' crucifixion. Semana Santa traditionally runs from Palm Sunday, Domingo de Ramos, to Easter Sunday, Domingo de Pascua. But since students and some workers enjoy a 2-week break during this time, the week after Easter is also considered part of the national holiday. The date of Easter changes each year and is calculated based on the moon cycle and the spring equinox, with Easter falling the first Sunday after the first full moon occurring on or after the equinox. Since Mexico's schools have a 2-week break surrounding the Easter holiday, this is effectively considered the country's spring break. This time period also coincides with many spring breaks in the United States as well as other countries located in the Northern Hemisphere. In some areas of Mexico, the springtime reprieve comes during the hottest time of the year, making the beach a magnet for those wanting to escape the hot city. If you plan to travel to Mexico over Easter, be prepared for beachside celebrations, complete with camping, barbecuing, and partying. Many tourist attractions will also be crowded around this time. Be sure to book your hotel, vacation rental, and airline reservations well in advance to assure lower fares and availability. Processions and passion plays take place all throughout the country, celebrated in different ways in different communities. Large, elaborate Holy Week celebrations can be found in cities of Taxco, Pátzcuaro, Oaxaca City, and San Cristobal de las Casas. On the Sunday prior to Easter, known as Palm Sunday, Catholics commemorate the arrival of Jesus in Jerusalem. According to the Bible, Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, while the townspeople laid down palm branches in his path. Many towns and villages in Mexico reenact Jesus' triumphal entry with a procession, and woven palms are sold outside churches. The Thursday of Holy Week is known as Maundy Thursday, a day that commemorates the washing of the feet of the apostles, the Last Supper, and Jesus' arrest in Gethsemane. Mexican traditions include visiting 7 churches to recall a vigil the apostles kept in the garden while Jesus prayed before his arrest, attending a foot-washing ceremony, and, of course, taking part in a Mass with Holy Communion. Good Friday observes the crucifixion of Christ. On this day, solemn religious processions take place in which statues of Christ and the Virgin Mary are carried through towns, alongside dramatic recreations of the crucifixion of Christ. Participants often dress in costume depicting the era of Jesus' life. The largest reenactment takes place in Iztapalapa, south of Mexico City, where over 1 million people gather every year for the Via Crucis, the Way of the Cross. And then on Saturday, some communities in Mexico still burn an effigy of Judas to signify his betrayal of Jesus. However, now this tradition has become a festive occasion. Cardboard or papier-mâché figures are constructed, sometimes with firecrackers attached and then burned. Often the Judas figures are made to look like Satan, but Sometimes they're made to resemble controversial political figures. And then on Easter Sunday, of course, you won't come across any mention of Easter bunnies or chocolate eggs on Easter Sunday in Mexico. This is generally a day when people attend Mass at Catholic Church and celebrate quietly with their families. However, in some places, festivities include fireworks and jubilant processions with music and dancing. And I have a link to that article in the show notes for learningreligions.com. You can find them you know where. So busy times. However, I did speak with Salvador Estrada. He is the candy man in the wheelchair over on the Malecon. He hangs out next to the loud nightclubs there. And he tells me that it's busy, but mostly with Mexican nationals, kind of like I just read. He said he's hoping to see more Americans and Canadians this week, but he says that the restaurants are not full and that money's a little tight. And hurry up and get down, he says. So you Americans and Canadians, if you're thinking about, maybe it's too crowded, there's plenty of room in the restaurants. So get on down there if you can manage to find an air flight. I've got an air flight. I'm counting the days until I return to paradise. It's going to be the 27th of April, so just a little bit longer than 2 weeks from now. I'm very, very excited. Remember, we're going to have JR's birthday party the following day over at Gringo Loco. So don't forget that on the 28th. It's going to start, I think, at 5 o'clock in the evening over there. So if you're in town, make sure you get over there and see us there. I still haven't gotten a date yet ready for a meet and greet, but we will. We'll get it pretty soon. All right. Well, hey, let's get to our first guest, shall we? I first brought the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show to El Tuito back in February. I'm looking right now in February of 2018. And El Tuito it's a little town. It's about 50 minutes south of the romantic zone of Puerto Vallarta. And I have a link to the interview that I had with Maria Santander of Galeria Coppelia back in 2018. She talks about the town. We talk about the people there, and it was a really, really good interview. So I have a link to that in the show notes. During the pandemic, Maria's little brother, Morgan Santander, died of cancer. This was in early 2020. And Morgan was an incredible artist and taken away too soon. His work now resides in the town of El Tuito, over at Galeria Coppelia, and it's got its own gallery, which Maria calls Museo Morgan. And that's why I came back to Galeria Coppelia to visit with Maria, to take photos of the gallery and to get Maria's story. Before we get to that discussion, I just want to read this Facebook post from Maria, which she posted in March, just on the 26th, a couple of weeks ago. And it reads, 10 years ago today, I opened Galeria Coppelia, a new kind of art gallery, one that did not take commissions or fees, one that allowed everyone to bring their art and make their own money here at a beautiful location that people would come and visit. The past 2 years, we've had COVID, family deaths, hurricanes, scorpion stings, 20 months of being closed and no income. But today, we are still here. Happy anniversary to Galeria Coppelia, and thank you to all of those who supported us and visited us and kept us going through the good times and the bad, kept coming back and supporting our local artists. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all. And so, let's go right now to the town of El Tuito and visit with the lovely Maria Santander at Galeria Coppelia, now 10 years old, in El Tuito, Mexico. Okay, so Maria, Thanks for coming back on the show.
Hi, Barry. Thank you for having me.
Tell us what you got cooking here. We just took a little tour, and I looked at your baby brother's artwork, and I am totally impressed with. I mean, he was prolific. He had so. Did he have that much time to just sit around and paint like that? Come on.
Yeah, I guess so. He was a full-time professor. He had a small child, and he just painted constantly. And he was battling cancer, so it's amazing. He puts me to shame, really.
Yeah. Okay, so give me a little background on Morgan. Tell my listeners about your brother.
Okay. Morgan Santander was born in Mexico City. He studied at Berkeley and he studied at Chicago University. And he worked at SCAD, which is the Savannah College of Art and Design, for many years and had a small child. And when he had cancer and the family separated, he followed the family so he could be closer to his son because this was his only child, and moved to North Carolina, where he taught online and where he painted, I guess, most of this work, although most of this is for the last 20 years worth of work, so it's a lot of work. He died in March of last year, finally from complications from the cancer, and it took us 9 months to get all of his work from North Carolina shipped to California. First, we paid the few months' rent in North Carolina because of his studio.
Yeah.
Then we got it shipped. Then we put it in storage in California. My mother was wonderful and took care of all of it at that end.
Yeah.
In fact, the whole family did because my cousin is the manager at Public Storage, and so anyway.
Oh, how lucky.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a huge palaver. And then finally, there's a wonderful person in Puerto Vallarta called Luis Martinez who has been working this whole past 2020 year, basically helping people move down here during the COVID, and with pets that couldn't fly, with people who had to drive down with their belongings, with everything. And I came across him by chance. He was highly recommended. He moved heaven and earth to get Morgan's work down here. It took us a couple of weeks, and he was just amazing. Everything we thought couldn't be done, he did.
Wow. And so this was from California to, straight down to Vallarta.
To my house.
Yeah.
In El Tuito, in the mountains. 4 truckloads.
Wow.
So they were amazing. So anyway, suddenly Morgan's world became my world.
Yeah.
And overwhelmed my world. So now we have all of Morgan's work here. My gallery is now open again. I'm trying to reopen it so that my 20 artists can once again. It used to be 30, but after COVID, many didn't come back after they got their money from last year.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get it going again, trying to generate some income. The whole thing with Morgan's work is that, first of all, it's huge and it needs a museum because there's so much of it. Second of all, 100% of the proceeds from that go to Mateo, his 15-year-old son, who no longer has a father, who was his only child. So this is my life's work now, is to keep my gallery going, get my artists some income, and make some money to put my brother's child through university and get him a car or whatever we can do,
Yeah.
But that work is amazing. It really needs to be in a museum. As you saw, some of those pieces are just mind-blowing.
They're amazing, and a lot of them are just huge canvases. Kind of describe the different kinds of work that you have here. And you get these huge canvases. You have what looks like lithographs and prints, and what do you got going there?
Yes. Well, he not only was very prolific, but he did a whole series of collages. Then he would project those onto a wall and paint them. And then, so we have the collages, we have the paintings, then we have prints of them, then we have posters. So there is, if you like something, whatever your price range is, you can get, whether it's a poster or whether it's a museum piece that is 3 meters by 2 meters oil painting, that there's something for everybody.
So that's great. So that means that if you get here and you can't afford the $30,000 museum piece, you can afford the
$20
poster. Print or poster,
yes,
right?
That are signed and numbered.
Oh, really?
All
okay.
of them.
All right. So this is a real thing, you guys. It's not just we're not joking here. This is amazing artwork that we have. I have pictures of them. You can check them, of course, in the show notes. You'll find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And I took as many pictures as I could, so I'll make sure that the blog post is full of them.
Thank you.
What else is going on here? Anything else new, interesting since we met? Like 3 years ago, maybe it was, or 4 years ago.
We did last year. High season, which was just about this time last year, was the best the gallery had ever had. 8 years into it, and sadly, it was cut short by a couple of months by the COVID, and I just shut it all down. We didn't know where we were going to go. I just thought I was going to shut it down for a couple of weeks. But,
we all
here
did.
we are a year
we
later.
All did.
And so we're all still just struggling. They just had the January fiestas.
Yeah, I was here at the very tail end of the fiestas.
You were not.
Well, I wasn't in town, but I came the next day when the booths were still up.
Really?
Yeah.
I was still inside my house, locked in, hoping nobody would even walk by my window. Okay. Right behind my house, they have this field.
Yeah, the fair.
They had the dance.
You had the fair, right?
Well, the fair's over
Oh,
here.
okay.
But they had the dances. They had the rodeo. They had the church had rockets and bells all night, and Jesus bombs and everything. And then they had music until 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And my dogs were terrified, shaking under the bed. I was there with them, and it was 5:00 in the morning before I went to bed. And 2 hours later, I just said, I don't think this is a good day to do an interview.
No, I don't want to interview a zombie.
I just felt like crap.
No, I get it.
No, and I was hoping you could come because there is a new restaurant that, besides Provecho, which I told you about, which is Maddie and Jess's project, there's a beautiful place up on the highway.
Yeah.
That is up on a hill, and you can have a 360-degree view of the whole town.
I've heard of this place. What's it called?
El Pueblito.
El Pueblito, yeah.
That place owns my heart. I love it.
Really?
And there's nobody there. They have all of the safety stuff. The food is amazing. It's all outside, and it's huge. So even the closest person to you is like way over there.
Wow.
So it's really, and they treat you like royalty, which is nice.
Nice. Okay, so I'll have that in the show notes too, along with Maddie and Jesse's new place, and we're going to go and see them too today. What else? Anything else
I'll
happening?
show you El
around here?
Pueblito too if you want to just go up there and one of these days you've got to get out to Primavera. She's
Right.
got a whole bunch of guacamayas out there now.
Oh, does she?
Beautiful guacamayas.
You're talking about Bonnie Reggae?
Jauregui.
Oh, it's not Harigi? I thought it was Harege. I do it wrong, huh?
Jauregui.
Okay, well. I pronounced it wrong on my
Actually,
my
that's a
podcast.
very interesting story. Her husband, Carlos Jauregui, was... This is so crazy. Pancho Villa, at the time of the revolution, had a right-hand man called Carlos Jauregui. And he was related to this Carlos.
Oh, how funny is that? Wow, go Pancho Villa. Look, we got revolutionaries everywhere.
Yes,
I
we
kind
do.
of thought that Bonnie, well, that was Bonnie's husband's family, so never mind. I was going to say she's a little rough on the edges too, but
Well, she came from the family of Nolan's Chemicals
oh yeah,
in Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
Yep. And so Nolan was her dad. So but she grew up in Mexico, and that's her childhood sweetheart.
That was a great interview. I had a great time.
She's
with her.
wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Why don't you remind everybody where your place is, how to find you? You're online. Tell everybody about that.
Yeah, we just are setting up GaleriaCoppelia.com webpage.
Nice.
We're also Galeria Coppelia on Facebook. We're also We're in El Tuito. We're the number one thing to see in town.
That's
We're
right.
the number one
TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor. Just look for El Tuito Art Gallery. It's the only one.
And you'll find Maria. And of course, I'll have links. Once again, I'll have all that in the show notes. I'll have a map that, of course, will take you right to the front door of Galeria Coppelia. And
Google Maps will do that too.
yeah, well, that's what I'm going to put, a Google map, and stick it right there.
Great.
And that way, next time you come to El Tuito, don't miss Maria, don't miss Galeria Coppelia, don't miss
Museo Morgan.
Museo Morgan.
Yeah.
Because you will just be blown away by his work, and when we say it's prolific, it's prolific.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, there's my always steady 20 to 30 local artists and artisans' work is always here on display and for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And these are people just from the area who make a living from this gallery, so we really do need to promote them too.
Well, absolutely. Well, Maria,
Thank you.
Thanks very much for coming back on the show. You know, you are one of the just few handfuls of people who've been back on twice. So
How lucky am I?
How lucky am I?
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you very much, Maria.
You are wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Maria. Now, that interview was recorded about a year ago. Wow. So if it seemed like we're in a little bit of a time capsule, you were. Anyway, make sure that you make that trip. Go to El Tuito and see this incredible collection of art. And keep in mind that your purchase of any of Morgan's art goes to his son, Mateo, who is now almost 18 years old. And anyway, Maria has lots of lovely artwork from her local artists who are now returning little by little since the COVID pause of action, so to speak. So I took lots and lots of pictures of Morgan's incredible artwork. You can find them in the show notes over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. So even if you've been there already, it's time for you to go back. Get out there and see Maria. Make sure you check the hours of operation before you make that bus trip, okay? Anyway, I have a map and I have links to take you right to her front door in the show notes. Now, our next stop is the beach. Like many of our interviews, I sometimes have to get a little help from my friends to make a connection. My first visit to Mango's Beach Club was several years back when Deborah Donick from Flight Angels, that group that matches up doggy rescues with travelers that are willing to take a rescue by plane back to Canada and, unite that pet with their new Canadian owner. I don't know if you remember that, but I'll link up that interview in the show notes if you missed it. And Deborah asked me to meet her and her friend Anne over at Mango's for breakfast for that interview. So at that time, I really, really liked the space. It was very classy. There was a Saturday brunch going on there, and they still do it there. They do a Saturday and a Sunday brunch. In fact, it's on my list of some of the top brunches in Puerto Vallarta. And I liked it because of the area, the location, the space. It's just lovely. It's when you walk in, there's a covered space which opens up into an open patio area, and then the beach club, which is right in front of that, with chairs and loungers, and it's very comfy. Sofas. It just looks you look at it, you just want to lay down. So breakfasts and early lunch, music is laid back, and it's pretty easy. But as the day wears on, then things start to liven up over at Mango's. They've got a DJ who fills the air with music for, I would say, kind of a younger crowd. But, it all depends on your musical taste. But things get hopping over at Mango's Beach Club. The food is great. The bar is always hopping. The vibe is happening. And I have, if you want to see what the dishes are served, it's beach food, but, there's burgers and sandwiches, and then there's the seafood, and it's really, I have the food porn in the show notes, so just go over there and check out the pictures of some of the dishes that come out of the kitchen over at Mango's. So where is Mango's exactly? Well, If you know where Teatro Vallarta is, over on Calle Uruguay, or Lay's Supermarket, right there, that corner there, that is Calle Uruguay. Or if you know where Supermac Taco is, over on the Malecon, that is Calle Uruguay. And if you go ahead and go towards the beach, you will run into Mango's Beach Club. So I asked my friend Dean Rager from Cacao Magico and Puerto Magico if he knew anybody in charge over at Mango's, and he did, of course. Dean never lets me down. And thanks, Dean, for the introduction. So before you know it, there I was WhatsApping with Paco. So we set up a time, and we got together in the morning before things got too crazy over at Mango's. We talked about his project on the beach. So, hey, let's go right now to Playa Camarones in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta, to the end of Calle Uruguay, number 109, and let's meet Francisco Zuazua Puga, Paco, at Mango's Beach Club in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Paco, thanks for coming on the show today.
No, thank you very much for being here. It's a pleasure.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. I love your place. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Okay. I was born in Monterrey, Mexico, but I spent only my... when I was child in Monterrey, then I moved to Guadalajara, and I studied in Guadalajara like tourist career.
Uh-huh.
And then I combine my studies with my career. I started in the hotel business, washing dishes, then in the kitchen, then waiter, bartender, captain, manager of the restaurant, then assistant manager, till finally I was GM of the hotels. At my age of 27 years old, was my first management in the one hotel. And for 40 years, I stayed in the hotel business. Then I received an invitation for be here in Mango's Beach Club, which is so important for me because I'm a little part of this business.
Yeah, good.
And I love the hospitality business. I love to food and beverage business, and but I totally convinced that the service is the most important. And when you do the things with love, that's when the things works and the things running. That's my history fast. I'm married. I have 4 kids, and that's it.
Yeah. All right. So what year did you come here?
Okay, I have here in Mango's Beach Club 1 year in a month.
Ah, okay. So you've been here a whole year, and you've absolutely done a great job here. The service is wonderful.
Yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about, you're a breakfast and lunch place.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. What's your breakfast menu like?
Okay, mostly as we have a beach club, we mostly offer seafood, of course, meats and other things, also sushi and different types of meals. But the breakfast is not exactly a breakfast menu. It's a special breakfast at your choice.
Okay.
We offer eggs, pancakes, chilaquiles, Mexican chilaquiles, juice, coffee, beans, but it's at your choice.
Very good.
And for the lunch, we start, the menu, the normal menu of the Mango's Beach is start at 11 a.m. and we finish at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you, it's basically seafood and other things, and of course drinks. We offer different types of drinks. We have a mixology menu and many cars. But the most important is also we have events. If the people wants to get married here, or maybe wants to celebrate a birthday, or I don't know, baby shower or wherever.
Yeah.
We are here and we offer at different types of menus of the events. And also, if the people don't like that we offer, we can make whatever the clients wants to do. We are open for that.
Excellent. So you have have like a dedicated wedding planner? Do you have someone that comes in and helps that, or do people actually have to find their own wedding planner and say, "Hey, I want to have my wedding at Mango's"?
No. It, as I told you, and as we want, and I think the best way to make clients is to not put too much rules. And always, as a service hospital or industry, we need to be totally open. We need to have really open mind, and whatever the clients wants, they want to bring their own wedding planner. It's okay for us. We just want to sell the food and drinks and service. If they don't want, and they told us, "Hey Paco, I want that you arrange everything for me." Since wedding ceremony, wherever,
Like the flowers,
the makeup,
really. Okay, so you can do that. You can do that. For
music, DJ, whatever. Also, Mango's has every single weekend DJ, and our main point or our style is house music. With chill out music, and it's mostly electronic music with our DJ.
Okay.
But in events, whatever they want.
Whatever you want, right? Whatever the bride wants, you know that, right?
Right.
Yes.
Always.
Well, bride is always correct. All right. So you have loungers here. You've got it roped off. That's to keep maybe the vendors from interfering with the people there, or are the vendors free to walk around?
Well, we try to keep the beach vendors, outside the road.
Okay.
But no.
We know what happens there.
Sometimes happen, sometimes don't happen. And also, the Mango's is divided in 3 parts. As you can see, we have the beach area with loungers, with lounge beds and.
Yeah, you've got almost like a little couch, kind of a thing going on there, and you've got beds, you've got everything going on here. So
and also umbrellas, and in the middle of the part of the beach club, we have a terrace that also is not on the beach, but just is a front beach,
which is where we're sitting right now, which is beautiful.
Yes, it is, and the restaurant part with a huge palapa. That's more. We use more that area for events, but unfortunately, or thank God, we don't have too much problem with the low season.
Right.
So the weekends normally we have full house.
Exactly. There you go. And if during the slow season when the rain comes rolling in, you need that palapa,
yes,
right?
Of course, we need it.
You sit there and you drink and you just wait for a couple hours. That's the way it happens, right?
Yes, many times happens, and it is true. It's totally different when you take some drinks or some coffee or some food just in the front of the ocean. The noise, the
sound of the waves,
and some waves, and you have a good music and good service and good food. That makes this perfect.
It makes your day, brother. So if you were to come here and want to, sit in a lounger, I mean, are there charges for to sit at a bed or sit at a lounger? Is it just you just got to be drinking and eating? What goes on with that?
Well, in the weekends, we suggest a minimum consume and on the beach, only on the beach.
Okay.
Because it's our main.
It's a big time.
Main place in here. But in the rest of the restaurant, we don't charge anything. Whatever they want to drink, or or eat,
Okay.
it's okay for us.
All right. So there's a minimum. So if you're sitting there and you go, what's the minimum?
250 pesos.
250 pesos.
No,
So it's
sorry,
this-
350 pesos is we suggest that.
Okay. So that's that's just, hey, make sure you're
15.
eating and drinking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And that's easy to do. I mean, you can do that.
Yes,
You
they
can do that in a couple
we
minutes.
suggest that minimum consume, but they use it, of course.
Sure.
And drinks and
Yeah.
food.
And then plus, so, this is what it's all about. You come here to eat, to drink, to relax, in a beautiful environment.
Yes, it is. That's
Yeah.
the most important. We are located in the gorgeous Banderas Bay, just in the middle of the Banderas Bay. It is.
Yeah, you're like smack dab in the middle here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now, this is known as Camarones Beach. Is that correct?
It's correct.
Okay, yeah.
It's correct.
So, Camarones Beach? Where does it go from where to where? Where does it end?
To the Los Muertos, which is the downtown or the old Vallarta, to Nuevo Vallarta.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
Also Nuevo Vallarta.
Is it hard to run? I mean, you're a hotelier. I mean, you've been doing this for 40 years.
Yeah.
Is it hard? Is it difficult here in a vacation town to, run a business? Is it difficult with employees? Anything like that?
Well, as I told you, Vallarta is a beautiful place. Not too much hotels like a Riviera Maya,
Uh-huh.
but we still having the Mexican flavor. We don't want to lose that.
No.
So it's difficult to have employees. Yes, we need to do many things
Mhm.
in order to maintain, so keep the employers happy with us.
Yeah.
And always, I think the main part of the one business is you need to keep your employees happy.
Because if they're not happy, things happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the most gratifying thing about working at a place like this?
Well, for me, is when someone say thank you for the service and thank you for the food. It was the place is amazing. That's the main gift that the people can give me. Thanks.
Yeah.
When they say thanks and I come back.
There you go. All right. I'm with you on that. All right. So you do events. You do all these things here. And you're open now. You're just breakfast and lunch, and then you go to what 8:00. So you're not really
8 and 9 o'clock.
So you're not really a dinner place, or you're actually serving. Actually, you're serving still up till 8:00 or 9:00. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
As I told you, we have events, but if someone wants to take a dinner with us, of course.
There we go.
No problem.
Okay, now let's leave mangoes just for a minute. Let's talk a little bit about food. We understand your breakfast and lunch, so we're not going to really talk about that at all. We're going to talk about dinner places and places like that. If you had one suggestion for a place that was kind of extra fancy for dinner,
Yeah.
where would you take somebody?
Wow.
I know it's hard. There's dozens, right?
Wow. Vallarta has a really good restaurants for take a dinner. Really good. If you want a meat, I recommend you the Sonora, the Sonora Prime.
Uh-huh. They're over in the marina?
Marina.
Mhm.
If you want Italian food, Le Bistro. If you want sushi, Geo Sushi.
Oh, yeah?
At Fluvial.
Fluvial.
Fluvial. Geo Sushi is nice place, nice food, good service. For sushi is good.
Yeah.
And but also, let me tell you that almost in every single corner you can find Mexican tacos. That's is really good.
It is, and it's Mexico, and it's
really good. Don't be afraid if you stop in a corner and try to eat Mexican tacos, because it's clean, it's good, it's different prices. But also you can find here many good, really good restaurants.
Yeah.
Café des Artistes, the Trio, another ones, Maximilian's. Many good restaurants.
Well, what's your favorite taco stand? You got a favorite taco stand?
Of course.
What is it, man?
No.
Paco's not going to tell me. He's not going to tell me.
No, I remember. I told last night to my wife, I love you mostly because one day we can go to Café des Artistes to take our dinner, and the next night we go to the tacos. No, but as I told, Vallarta has many good tacos, and my favorite was one of say tacos Pepe's Tacos is also good, but it's not in the tourist area, but there are many good tacos
out there. Yeah, like go out to Aurora and you can find
and
yourself.
Aurora has many places, which is a really good tacos each one.
Yeah, so you can treat yourself. You do a little taco tour. Go over to Aurora and check it out.
Yes,
it's over near the Walmart, right?
Of
And
course.
it's a great place. Great place.
Of course, no doubt.
Yeah.
And also the Marina area for dinner has a good restaurants.
Yeah. Yes.
But you know something? The best place that you can go is Mango's Beach Club.
Exactly right, my friend. Look at you.
Don't miss your time.
Yeah, don't mess around, you guys. Make sure you get here. I mean, that is the
And
point,
after
isn't it?
that, whatever you want to do, will be my pleasure.
There you go, brother. Okay, excellent. All right, so, Paco, if you were going to leave town for a day and take a day trip and go somewhere, where would you go, man?
Wow. It is your first time in Puerto Vallarta. Okay, one day off.
Yeah.
I prefer to go to the beach. Vallarta has many beaches that you can spend the day, and also with good seafood, and also you can play golf if you want it.
Yeah, tell me, you play golf?
Yes, I play golf.
Where
I do.
Where do you golf?
Vallarta has 7 golf courts.
Yeah.
Divided by Nuevo Vallarta and Puerto Vallarta, and I love to play golf. I tried my day offs to play golf. But
You have a favorite? Do you have a favorite golf course?
yes, El Tigre.
El Tigre.
And Niklaus at Vista.
Okay.
Tigre at the Vista is my favorite.
That's your favorite. Now, tell us about that. Is it because of the difficulty? Is it because of the beauty of the course? Is it because you get chased around by crocodiles? I mean, what makes it the best for you?
Oh, and the best for me, well, the Tigre is not easy. It's not too easy. It's too much.
It's a challenge, huh?
It's a challenge. It's
Yeah.
too much water. And
You're bringing extra balls, aren't you?
that's and some crocodiles.
Uh-huh.
So you need to take care. And the Niklaus at the Vista is a beautiful view. You can see all the Puerto Vallarta because it's in the mountain. It was where some years ago played the world professional golf
Tournament, huh?
tournament.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So those two. I've not talked about golf with anybody for the last 4 years. I haven't talked with golf about anybody. So I'm glad I've got you on the show because
Yes.
people want to know. I mean,
Yes.
there's people out here that are crazy enough to come on vacation and golf.
Yeah,
So
but Vallarta has many beaches, many places, many tours. Also, we offer many tours, and you can check. But this is so important. I think if you go to the place, spend the day. Of course, it is on the beach. Spend the day on the beach. Of course, you are on the beach and you go to the beach. Yes, But if you go to one place, try to know the culture, try to know the colors, try to know the food, try to know the drinks. And Vallarta has many things to offer to the tourists.
Yeah.
Too much things to
A
offer
lot of things.
to the clients. And also don't forget, Vallarta is into the state of Jalisco. Jalisco is the father of the tequila, and also the mariachi, and also the most representative Mexican folklore coming from Jalisco. So try to know something about our culture and our Jalisco state. And believe me, I think at least we have 600 different types of tequila in Puerto Vallarta, at least.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And you, at this bar, you've got a great selection.
Yes.
Do you have raicilla? Do you do raicilla
No,
here too?
yes, also. We
Okay,
have also offered a raicilla cocktail with in our mixology,
Nice.
because it's also a brand of the here of the region.
Yeah, it's local, baby.
Yes, a local.
Yeah. If you had 3 days off, where would you go?
One day with my family, wherever they want to do. Shopping, beach, restaurant. Know the places close to here to Puerto Vallarta, like a Sayulita, like a San Pancho, like a Lo de Marcos. It's a beautiful place. Another play, of course, play golf.
Right. There you go. So you're going to spend the day with the family the first time. You're going to play golf another day.
Yes.
And then what are you going to do the third day?
The third day, spend the day with my father-in-law
Uh-huh.
and the family.
Make sure that everybody's covered. You're covering
Yes.
all the bases.
So I try. Sometimes
Paco,
I try.
you're all
I
right,
try.
bro. You're all right. If you had a word of advice for someone who's coming to Puerto Vallarta for the first time, what would that piece of advice be?
Okay, I suggest the main church of Puerto Vallarta, the La Virgen de Guadalupe. It's a beautiful, and it's also the main point of the Catholic religion here in Puerto Vallarta. It's one of the main places, of course, the people need to know. Also, the old Vallarta, walking the Malecon. It's a beautiful Malecon. You can find many restaurants, many bars, many stores. But it's a beautiful. It's just beside the ocean. It's nice, and also try to do like a tours, like a canopy tours, like a river tour, like a plants tour, like a Tuito, because it's really vale la pena. It's worth.
Yeah.
And I recommend that.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, that is absolutely right. If you can't just spend the whole time in the town. You gotta get out and you gotta see things and experience some of those things. So that's incredible. What about if you had a word of warning for somebody? Do you have maybe a warning for someone who's coming here for the first time, or it doesn't have to be for the first time, just any time?
No, yes. Take care with the prices of the cabs. Try to arrange the price before to get in the car.
Uh-huh.
Also take care also with the prices of the beach vendors. When you are Mexican, you have another price than when you are a tourist. And then Vallarta is safe in the night time, but in the tourist area.
Okay.
And I don't think that Vallarta is bad outside the tourist area. I don't think that. But it's safest in the tourist area. And don't get in the places that you don't see too much light or nice faces or whatever. That's it. But it's safe. You can walk any time, any hour in Vallarta and for sure you don't have any problem.
Exactly right. That's been my experience for sure. All right. Well, hey, let's come back. Let's come back to Mango's Beach Club.
Yeah.
How do people find you? You're on the internet. You got a Facebook page. What do you got?
Okay. First of all, you just ask every single Vallarta guy for Mango's Beach Club, and they know.
Don't even have to go online, kids.
No, our web page, we don't move too much our web page, because at this time everybody knows that it's more have more potential or more penetration than the Instagram and the Facebook.
Yes, correct.
That you can find us in Instagram like a Mango's Beach Club and Facebook like a Mango's Beach Club. We are in the both parts.
Yeah, and they post every day, and they got beautiful pictures there on their Instagram
We
page.
try to post every single day.
Yeah, you do, and I like them every time. They're really great. Good, you do good work getting the word out. All right, so I will have links to the Facebook page and to the Instagram page. I'll even have a Google map that'll take you to the front door of Mango's Beach Club, and just find them, of course, at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com, where you'll find the blog. Where here I am talking with Paco. Paco, is there anything I forgot? Is there something that you want to add before we say goodbye today?
No. It's okay. Thank you very much for that interview, and I hope that to help to the people knows a little bit more for Mango's Beach Club, and also in our Facebook or Instagram you will find our
QR
and with the menu, and easy for everybody. And we are waiting for you, and don't forget to visit when you stay in Puerto Vallarta.
That's exactly right, and you won't forget to visit this time, or next time, or the time after. And Paco, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure to be able to introduce you to my listeners. I really appreciate your time.
No, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Paco. Thanks for sharing with us about your knowledge of Puerto Vallarta and Mango's Beach Club. And I have pictures of the place as well as pictures of the food, like I said, drinks, and links to their Facebook and Instagram pages. And, of course, I've got a map that'll take you right to the front door of Mango's Beach Club in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And over at Mango's this coming Easter weekend, actually from the 13th till the 17th, Easter Sunday, Benny Sendes will be the guest DJ, and he'll be there from 1 o'clock until 10 in the evening. So come dance and drink and chill over at Mango's Beach Club. Don't forget also Mother's Day. They're going to have a nice Mother's Day brunch over there, and they always have a Father's Day brunch. So if you're looking for a place on the beach that does brunch, that's just, not in Los Muertos Beach, but Playa Camarones, go to Mango's. They do a really, really good job there. Like their Facebook page, get their updates, all that other good stuff. That way you can hear about their upcoming events. And don't forget, if you're planning an event in Puerto Vallarta, Mango's is a great place to have your private event, like a wedding or a birthday or a baby shower. You know the drill. Anyway, gorgeous, beachside. It's a cool place to be. Very, very nice. Okay, well, hey, that should do it for today. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us a message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. Reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on, well, wherever you happen to be listening to this show. Better yet, share it with a friend. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have the links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you to Maria Santander from Galeria, Coppelia, and Museo Morgan in El Tuito. Like I said, even if you have been there before, now it's a great time to go. Again, just say hello, buy a piece of art from one of our local artists, or a piece from her collection of Morgan's masterpieces. They're stunning, and so is her gallery. So get over there. We love you, Maria. And thank you so much, Paco. Francisco Suazua-Puga from Mango's Beach Club. I love that place. You are going to love it too. And thanks, Paco. Thanks for telling us about the very cool spot in the sun right on the beach in Cinco de Diciembre. I have pictures, links, maps, everything to get you right there. You can find it, of course, at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And thank you to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler, signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta.